And hello again, and here we are back in my garage for the next episode about my GPz project. And we'll start off with literally the nuts and bolts of the bike. Now when it comes to my own projects, I like to use either stainless steel or sometimes even titanium bolts, such as these polished stainless steel flange bolts which have come from ProBolt. However, the only problem with doing that is it can get bloody expensive. So down here I've got a little box of stainless steel hex bolts. Here we go. You can't see them, but I'll do a close-up if need be. And you can buy these for about, I don't know, 20 or 30 pence each. So if you need a lot of them, of course it soon adds up. But that's nothing compared to buying the posh, polished fasteners from a place like ProBolt. I've got a few here. Again, I'll take a photograph of these so you can see them close up. And these are not 20 or 30 pence each. These are more like £3 or £4 each. And if you want to get a bigger bolt, say an M10, I think these are M8s, it's going to be even more expensive. So as you can see, if you decide to use these fancy ProBolt fasteners, things can get very expensive very quickly, and you can end up spending £300 or £400 just on bolts. And that's fine if you're building a big money bike, a big sort of show bike, or even the bike behind me here, my 1170 project. That's pretty much covered in, you know, polished stainless steel fasteners or even titanium, and that's okay because that's a 10 grand project. But my GPz project here is not a 10 grand project. I mean, I'd like it to be. It'd be nice if I could spend that kind of money, but it makes no sense because it's only ever going to be worth maybe £3,000 or £4,000 when I finish, no matter how good it is. Maybe 5 if you find the right buyer. So spending 10 grand on a 5 grand bike is not a good idea. So I'm going to go with the 20 or 30 pence fasteners here, and that's good enough. But we can still improve things over and above what you get from the supplier, because what you can do with a standard stainless steel bolt is polish the hex head. Now if you do it at home manually, it can take an awful long time. I've actually made a video about how to do this, and basically you use a hand file to remove the raised lettering on the head, and then you stick this in your drill and hold it down against various grades of wet and dry sandpaper, and eventually you can get a really good finish. Even like fully polished, it looks chrome if you keep on going long enough. And I could do that, but I've got quite a lot of fasteners to fit to the bike, and each one could take me, say, 10 minutes or so it's hours and hours of work. However, I do have a friend with a lathe, so the other day I took him over a little bag of these fasteners, and he's now skimmed them on his lathe, and as we speak he's just pulling up, hopefully with that little bag in his hand. Here he is, hello, and hopefully should look pretty damn good, and we'll get them on the bike in no time. Right, here he comes. Oh, you mean, Gary? Yeah, I'm just making a video about fasteners, about nuts and bolts. Oh. Very exciting. Can I come in? Yeah, come on down. Are we come on down, yeah, we are on. Right, yeah. Some bits and bobs. Your shortened bolts. Yeah, these are the... here we go. Here, you can't see them, but these are the engine bolts, coming made in stainless steel. 2 are a bit long, so they didn't have been shortened. They can go... Took about 12 mil. Yeah, about 12 mil. 11, 12 mil, I thought. It's enough. It's enough. I didn't want you getting them back and finding... They're too short. No. And in here... You can always put a thicker washer on. Yeah. And in here we've got... These are actually the fasteners for the engine mounts. They've all been skimmed. I will do a close-up and you can see how nice they look. I've skimmed them, but I've not angled them because there was just enough on. Oh, it's all right. So... No, it's fine, it's fine. So if you get the tip in, it leaves all burrs on it then. Yeah. So... Yeah, I'll do a close-up. I'll show you... If you them over on the buffer... No, I like them the way they are. Yeah, so I'll do a close-up in a minute of like the before and after. Yeah, I was just saying that, you know, these things cost, a sort of standard one, costs about 20 or 30p, yeah? But if you get a ProBolt one, which look really, really nice, they're like £4 each. They've got a little... oh, they're flanged. Yeah, they're hollowed out. Oh, yeah, but they look... They look amazing. Yeah, and I have used them on the bike where you can see it very clearly, sort of around the cockpit area. Yeah. But I'm not using it on an engine. If it's all down on the end. Yeah, hidden away. Yeah, so that's good. So we'll get them close up and I'll get it on the bike. So where are you off to now? You're off to your brother's, aren't you? Just to sort this turbo bracket. Yeah. For the Drew's bike, yeah. So... Complicated. Well, yes, turbos are quite complicated. No, the bracket, because it's got to go, if you don't get it right, that actuator won't work very well. Yeah, so got to get that done, and then when things warm up a little bit. Right now it's cold, it's rainy, it's windy. I don't really want to be in here because it's horrible. I need to finish that engine off, and then finish my GPz engine. Oh yeah,
same as that?
Yeah.
Ah,
yeah. There you go.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah. Jeff's doing his own Kawasaki project, and I said, don't use a standard rear lamp. Use one of these, which is the from a ZX6R. And as luck would have it, I've got one coming.
Oh, all right.
Because I've ordered a few things for another project, which is top secret. You don't know about that yet.
Right.
And the guy happened to have one of them. It's actually from a 9R, not a 6R, but they're all the same.
That looks, in fact, that better because it'll go up inside the seat unit a bit more, and it gives you a bit more.
If you look down there,
yeah, that's.
You've got the same tail section and the same.
So it. With that thicker light,
it works really well.
The plate's going to come down a bit more.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can't really see it there, but I've got a stainless steel under tray there that I think Jeff made for me, Jeff the welder, and it fits really well. But that's a separate story. Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
So you've got to go and see your Les.
I've got to go and zoom up to Les's and get this sorted. And
I'm gonna.
Yeah, I've put a little angle on them. You may just.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
Try the nuts on. Make sure there's no tiny...
these are a fine thread, of course.
Yeah.
So,
Just, because sometimes when you just put an angle, it can leave a tiny little bird just on the beginning.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Just make sure it's...
Yeah.
Just lap it in.
Okay, will do. Oh, and by the way, while you're here, I do have something for you as well.
Oh.
That.
What?
The tank.
The tank?
The tank.
What do I need the tank for?
Because...
Oh, sorry
Because,
You said you wanted a dent coming out.
Yeah. Let me get a close-up of that, because I've got my phone here. And you can tell me a quick close-up of the tank. There's a couple of small dents there, which have...
Them?
Very hot.
I think them.
Slight.
Them are not worth...
But what's really important is that dent there. Yeah. You can see that there. It's kind of a crease right in front, right behind the badge.
See, that's gone in there as well, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's gone in there.
Yeah.
Just where the edge of the badge is.
So your plan, we talked about this.
And with that being like dipped in there.
Yeah.
To try and pull that out with it being all double, with it being...
Yeah.
If it was just a dent on there, what they do is, you've seen them guns when they fuse a piece on, and then they put like a little hammer on it.
But your method is to actually cut a hole.
The only thing I can think of is cutting a hole somewhere in the tunnel just behind and going in.
Right. Well, I'll have a little think.
I think what we'll have to do there is warm it. I think that's going to have to be warmed, because where that dip is in there, the strength in it to try and just get it out cold.
Well, I believe if you heat an area up, it tends to relax the metal, because when you've got a dent, it's put stress in the metal, doesn't it? And then you can heat it up, it sometimes pops out.
It depends.
There are these cheap kits you can get, which use glue, and you glue on the little piece and it sort of pulls it out, but that's a crease, and I don't know where it's going to work. So that's a bit of an issue. Yeah. There's no rush for it yet, it's just one of the things that need to be done.
Very, very difficult.
Yeah. There's no rush for it yet. But I have got some. I've actually been buying quite a lot of cordless equipment, cordless bits and bobs. And one thing I've got is this. Look at this.
What you got?
Look at that.
Oh, a polisher.
Yeah. This is called a DA. DA sander.
Oh, it's a sander.
Yeah. DA jobby.
I've got an air one of them. But
I bet you have. Yeah. Battery powered, of course. So you can use that on the.
Oh, bloody yeah.
The thing is, you don't have to plug it in. You don't have to plug it in. You just use it wherever you want. So if I'm at my unit, which has no power, it can. Be used. I've also got here.
The thing is, they don't get as cold as the.
That's a freebie, a torch.
Oh.
I've also got a drill, of course. And I've also got something I've just bought recently. Look at this baby. Angle grinder.
Oh.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Angle grinder. Yeah, it works. So all that so that I can, if need be, work in my new unit, which has no power.
So you can charge them up and do stuff.
Yeah. I've now got about 6 or 7 batteries, which cost a fortune.
You can always get a small generator.
Oh well, yeah. It's just easier just to.
Yeah.
I mean, these are so handy because, right now I've got some lights on it in here that are battery powered. Just 2 additional lights. It's just so easy to use.
Yeah.
They last about an hour, and then you just recharge it up in about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's really good. But anyway, that can wait. But I've just shown you that to see what could be done. Now, the reason we're going through all this trouble with the tank is because normally I take it over to Mark, our local painter, who's fantastic. He painted this bike here and also my Guzzi and so on. Only problem is Mark is very good and very cheap, and therefore he's got a massive waiting list. So if I took it in today, which is now January, I may not get it back until end of the summer, you know, kind of September, October, November, who knows? And that's okay, but right now I want to get this thing finished by the summer. I want to ride it this summer. So what I'm going to do is, sort of reluctantly, I'm going to paint it myself. I painted my red 650B, which is okay, but I could have done it better. So I want to try and do a better job with this one.
Definitely not in this weather. But...
No, that's going to be spring. I'm going to set up a little spray booth type thing in here. And that's actually also the reason why I bought myself this thing.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've got a polishing mop on for it somewhere, and I've got a wool cover, you know. So just makes life. It's going to be blue. The bike is blue.
That's a lovely colour.
Yeah. So imagine that bike, but blue.
Fantastic colour.
It's similar to. It's going to be a metallic mid blue with some gold pinstriping because the wheels are gold and It's almost like that, but blue. But I won't be using a Kawasaki, the big Z1000 style design for the stripes. It'll be more like a standard 650. I don't know yet. I mean, it's like you can. The wheel's your oyster, isn't it? Yeah, the wheel's your oyster.
Or green. That metallic green.
No, I hate. I mean, I know you love green. Your mum loves green as well. I can't stand green bikes. No. Drew's having his bike green, but no, can't stand green. Dark blue is fine by me. Metallic dark blue.
Well, in fact, people that have like the Eddie Lawson ones, I like them.
Oh no, too bright. It's okay on that particular bike.
No, not the lime green, but like, you know, the deep grass, you know, like a deep metallic green. Maybe.
Well, there's some modern Kawasaki's with that green, but I don't like green anyway.
Green. Well, it's their recent colours, isn't it? So.
No. In fact, I believe green's supposed to be unlucky.
I don't know.
Yeah, it is. Historically, green is unlucky for bikes. And do you know why?
I have no idea.
Because after the war, they had thousands and millions of bikes going cheap and were being sold off to the general public, and they're all green. And the myth was, well, you might be riding a bike that some soldier died on, so it's like unlucky to ride a green bike. But that's an old myth, I think. Anyway, what actually people might not know is you started out your life back in your young days as a painter. So Jeff actually used to do a lot of painting back in the 80s, didn't you? Rather than making things, you're more of a painter.
Started in the 70s.
Sorry, 70s. Well, a long time ago. A long time ago, yeah. So Jeff's actually really good at painting.
Well, I've done some, but all the paints now, if you try to go into it now, all the structure, the
technology's changed.
It's just completely changed. It's a bit like starting over again.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, flatting and doing all that sort of work.
Prep.
You never.
Well, if you get bored, you can prep that for me. I mean, the good news is the side panels and the tail section's brand new ABS. The front mudguard's also ABS. That's fine. It's just the bloody tank's going to take a lot of work.
Yeah.
But we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah.
It also saves me about, I don't know, £500 of paying Mark to paint it for me. I mean, ultimately, it might end up being painted by Mark anyway at some future date.
Don't if you want a bike that's, if you just want a bike that's tidy for the road that you can go out on, you know, sometimes the paint work that Mark does is maybe.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
I mean,
but
look at that.
That's what I'm saying. You know, and like you say,
but I wouldn't want to go out on a day like this on a bike like that. I just wouldn't.
Yeah.
You know, it's horrible outside. It's rainy. It's cold. It's windy. I wouldn't even go out on a nice day somewhere where I had to leave it unattended. I just wouldn't. Whereas this thing, hopefully, I could. It's like it's not a 10 grand bike. It's a 4 grand bike. So you can go out on it and walk away from it and not have to be so panicking about coming back to find it damaged or some baby sitting on it or whatever, which has happened to me in the past. Yeah, it's happened to me. I have a custom Harley. You leave it for a bit. You come back and there's a family there with a little kid sitting on it and they're taking photographs. And like one particular bike ended up with a big scratch on the tank because it's a little toddler that just put his feet on the tank. It's covered in grit and it's like and the parents don't give a toss. It's like, oh well, it's only a bike, isn't it? You know. Yeah, my bike costs about double the cost of your car. But anyway, that's a different story. Right, so Jeff's got to go. I'm going to go back in the doors and warm up and have some tea.
You're going to have a cup of tea. I'm
going to. Anyway, that means we've had a long video. So you need to go off to see your Les and do his thing.
Get out of your way.
Yeah, I'll just finish this off. Go back indoors, warm up, and drink more tea.
More tea. I will see you.
And there he goes. So he's popped in just to drop off these parts. So now let's do a close-up, and I'll show you the difference between a standard fastener, straight from the supplier, and one that's been skimmed on a lathe. And so on the left we have a standard stainless hex bolt. In the middle we have one that's been skimmed on a lathe, and on the end we've got a very expensive polished stainless hex bolt from ProBolt. So the one on the left is about, I don't know, 30-40p. The one in the middle, the same, but a bit of work. And the one on the end, well, that's about £4. So as you can see, makes quite a difference. And so to finish off, here are a couple of those fasteners on the frame. And I do like the fact that the finish now matches the finish on this stainless steel one-off pivot bolt for the swing arm. And now here we are, it's the next morning, and before I take the tank over to Jeff's workshop, where hopefully, fingers crossed, they can do some magic and remove this dent from the tank, I want to remove all the paint. So I've got several options. I could just use paint stripper, but that can take quite a long time, because these days paint stripper isn't that potent anymore, and it can also leave a right mess behind to clean up. Or I could take it somewhere and get it blasted, but that costs money, so that's no good. Or I could use my brand new orbital sander, and hopefully that will do the job in no time. So that's what we're going to do this morning. And to help things along, I've got myself this padded disc which goes between the sander and the actual abrasive disc, and that's so hopefully it can work better on the curves. So let's get it all together and I'll give it a go. And now I spent about 20 minutes removing the pinstripes from both sides of the tank, and also giving the tank a good once over with the orbital sander, which works really well. And as I'm doing that, I changed my mind about having to remove all the paint from the tank, because I don't think it's necessary. The paint's actually in pretty good condition. Now when Jeff comes along to try and fix this dent, I know he's going to heat up this area with a blowtorch, so that's going to burn off the paint in that area. But apart from that, I think the rest of the tank can stay as it is. I think it'll make a good base for the undercoat when I get round to painting the tank. So that should save me a lot of time. So what I've learned about using this thing is it works really well. It's a bit deceptive because I thought it would be a bit more vicious, a bit quicker, but it's quite slow and steady, and that's fine. The other thing I realised was that the abrasive discs don't last very long. I mean, this one's done about 3 minutes and it's done. So this is what it used to look like, and now it's white. Maybe it's because I bought some cheap ones, I don't know, but I've got a packet of about 50 of them, so it's not really a big issue. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with it, and I can see in the future this is going to be really, really helpful when it comes to polishing the clear top coat when I get around to actually painting the tank finally when the weather warms up. So I'm pretty happy with this thing. And also, by the way, after about 20 minutes, this 9 amp hour battery's still got plenty of energy in it. I think it could go on for another half hour, so that's pretty good news. Right, so that's it then. Next thing we'll do is take that over to Jeff's workshop and we'll see how we get on with removing this dent. But I think that might be for another video. And so that's it for now. And so thanks for watching, and cheers.